All right, we headed to Chicago. Yup. First we're gonna hit Dallas, and then Chicago. Gonna be lit. I got 3 computers right now. 1, 2, 3. I'm dealing with a lot of stuff right now. My brain is not functioning because of all of these computers. What's up? Tweaking, bro.
The video.
What's up?
3 meters if we have metric fans joining us this morning. The building holds 92 stories of occupiable space. It stands how the building's wide at the base and narrow at the top. Well, that's to help the building stand up against our strong winds. The building next to us, again done in 1971, is a great example of the modern style. If anyone here has heard the phrase less is more, that's the design ideal of the modern style. It's all about simplicity. Stand at 60 stories, opening in 1964 and 1967, and these 2 buildings were done by Bertram Goldberg, an architect who believed that art and nature should be as one. Now, there are very few right angles in nature, so few would exist throughout his design career. These 2 cylindrical towers feature a circular floor plans. It's anchored by a central elevator core. That means all of the units start narrow at the center of the floor. They get wider as you go out towards the exterior. And if anyone's wondering, well, what's it like to live in a condo that is shaped like a slice of pie, turn on your imagination and I can help you move in. Foods, one of the largest wholesale grocers in the nation at that time. Nowadays, the building is office space. If you look towards the clock tower, you'll see the names of the 2 biggest. This green glass structure is 300 North LaSalle, done in 2009. It is 60 stories of office space by Chilton, and this building features one of the most impressive air conditioning systems in the entire city. Water from the river, what's beneath us right now, is drawn into the building below the water line. That water is pumped to the top of the building where it's used as the main form of coolant for the massive air conditioning system in the building. And that same river water is then sent through a series of gravity filters. So by the time that river water is done keeping the building cool, it's much cleaner than when. Perfect example of the Art Deco style. Art Deco was all the rage in the 1920s and 1930s. And the easiest way to tell a building is Art Deco, at least in Chicago, is just to look out for a limestone exterior. Limestone is the soft beige on the building, and it's the primary bedrock for the state of Illinois, so it's very easy for us to come by. I'm sure you've noticed that around the main entryway, there's this very heavy rectangular border, but on each side of it, notice this double M design in that octagon. That's another geometric shape. We're going to check out the building at this angle just to get a better understanding of its immense footprint. This building sits on 2 city blocks worth of area. It features over 5 miles of interior corridor. The building has its own L stop in our transit system. It picks 2 bridges to completely redo, and it's a 6-month process. But as you can see, with all of the construction going on, they have to have the trains go a little extra slowly. So if you look carefully, you'll see that green line train is kind of holding at that spot, waiting for clearance to move across the bridge. We have 53 movable bridges in the city, 88 total bridges, and we'll talk more about our different styles of bridge as we go. But let's stay on the left. You'll see this red spiral coming up. It's a little bit above eye level. This is a sculpture by Santiago Calatrava titled Constellation. It's installed in 2020. The building behind it, it's got this parabolic arch, is River Point Tower. Done in 2016, it's 730 feet of office space by Chilton. Done by DeStefano and Partners.
You see the curves?
It opened in 2002, and the building consists of townhomes at the lowest level, where you see those large dark windows. Then we have parking in the center, small gray windows, and finally individual units, just condos, from the blue windows to the very top. Let's stay on the left for another minute. You'll see some red brick ahead of us now. That red brick building is the former cold storage warehouse. It opened in 1908, but since 1982 it's been known as the Fulton House. This building's original purpose was cold storage thanks to ice. So if you can, turn on your imagination and pick are the Chicago River Cottages. There are 4 private residences. This is the back side of the East Bank Club, done by Gordon and Levin in 1976. This is the back of the building. During the still move in, that's a lot of time and expense. And if you miss a real estate trend, people can move in that much sooner and they'd be more likely to catch the trend. But let's stay on the right. The end of World War I. This style of architecture, though, it didn't make it to the United States until the mid-1930s. And the mid-1930s was not a good time to be a new architecture style. You see, the 1930s are noted for the Great Depression, the 10-year economic downturn that followed the 1929 stock market crash. If anyone's unfamiliar with this time in American history, it's when money, so that every employee would use the space even if no one truly enjoyed being there. It's going to come into view in just a second. So on the left, at the corner, too much of the weight is economy Native Americans that we have in Chicago. Chicago in the original context means place with the wild, smelly onions. So when you hear the word Chicago and you wonder what it means, it is that glamorous title, place with the wild, smelly onions. Connection to Joseph Strauss. He is the man who patented the bridge design, and it's the same Joseph Strauss who later in his career would be the lead engineer on the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. So
Wow.
those bridges. Strauss bridges, like the ones you see just next to us, well, they feature a big concrete counterweight. You can start to see it a little more easily now behind us. And again on the left. As they are activated, the counterweights swing below the water line. The bridge opens up from the center. The style is noted for the high rolled arm design. And if you're ever looking at a bridge and you're wondering, is it Basque-Ultronian? Well, number one, it's got to be in Chicago. Oh, and it might be a little noisy because we've got this train coming, so get those cameras handy for me. In the reflection of our next building, this is 150 North Riverside Plaza. It opened in 2017. It's 53 stories of office space, and I'm sure you've noticed it's rather narrow at the base. The building is only 40 feet wide where it emerges from the ground, angles out quickly to 120 feet at the 7th floor, maintains that width for most of its height. And if you're still feeling uncomfortable, know that the building is going to stay upright. Its posture is secure thanks to a damper. The top interior floor of this building is a big tank of water. That tank of water creates a lot of pressure thanks to the downward force of gravity, so that everything at the top is like a big paperweight, keeping everything properly in line. We're going to go just to the right. You'll see the gray building. This is 100 North Riverside Plaza, done in 1990. The building by Ralph Johnson with Perkins and Will is a great example of the postmodern style. Postmodern design is what Chicago is known for, think 1980 to present day, and the goal of this style is to reference the past, but to look brand new. So let's talk about the past first. You'll see these big 3-paneled windows on the bottom 4 floors. That's a reference to the Chicago style window that opened in terms of its debut. And you'll see a beige building. This is 2 North Riverside, done in 1929. The building by Graham, Anderson, Probst, and White is Art Deco. Remember, our big indicator is that limestone exterior. But I'm sure you've noticed these big rectangular cutouts. So if you see the building as sort of an oversized, very similar to the former John Hancock building. So if anyone's been on Michigan Avenue for more than a few minutes, you've likely noticed a tall black building. It's got a tapered silhouette, big X's, 2 wide uneven antenna. Well, the X is there, the X is here. They do the same thing. They increase flexibility. So as strong winds push against the building with X bracing, it moves with the wind, but returns to upright when the winds subside. Now let's stay on the right. You'll see a kaleidoscope effect on our next building. This is 300 South Riverside, done in 1984 by James DiStefano. If you're enjoying the kaleidoscope effect of everything nearby, let's talk about what's being shown off. So when you're ready, join me on the left. You'll see this black rectangular building. This is 300 South Wacker Drive. This building is office space, and that elongated Y in that mural is a map of the Chicago River. The red rectangle is the building's location within the map, so we have an idea of where we are in the scheme of things.
It's awesome.
Staying on the left, you'll see this pink octagonal building. This is 311 South Wacker Drive, and its name is its address, 961 feet and 65 stories by Cohn Pedersen Fox. It's time for our third Art Deco. This is done by Graham, Anderson, Probst, and White, and let's use it to recap Art Deco. 3 big ways you can tell a building is Art Deco. Number 1, limestone, that soft beige. Number 2, geometric shapes. Now you might see this line of circles running across the building about halfway up, and this is River City. If anyone's thinking, River City, done in 1986, Looks an awful lot like Marina City, which we saw earlier, the 26 code. So if someone takes on this project and does it fully, they'd be looking at a lot of very expensive work and a very small amount of square footage to balance out that as they try to sell the building or lease the building and turn some. As they are lowered down, it creates tension on the cables towards the center. As tension builds, lift is created, pulling the arm of the bridge upward. The bridge is still used every day by Amtrak and Metro trains going into and out of them that follows once the fair is underway. Well, 1933 was one of the toughest years during the Great Depression, that 10-year economic downturn that fair turned. That big property was a huge success, and it was also commemorated on
Windows tend to be very narrow and they tend to have lots of like little spacers in between them because it's supposed to make the building look taller.
Willis Tower, it moves with those winds and then returns to upright. The Willis Tower building is number 25. Just for comparison, tallest building on the planet currently is the Burj Khalifa in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. That building is 2,716 feet tall, 163 stories, 828 meters. But let's get back to things we can see. Just to the right, we've got the Civic Opera building, done in 1929 by Graham, Anderson, Probst, and White. And as I'm sure you've noticed, it looks like there's a typo. I promise it's not a typo. What looks like a what looks like a V is actually a Roman U, and it's meant to go along with other Roman details. So from the title, oh, careful, it's getting sunny. But from the title, look up a little bit, you'll see those olive leaf swags. Those are very common and very classic Greek and Roman design details. We also have a few pediments, so there's a sort of smooshed triangle shape. You'll see it just above us now. That is the pediment. But we can't forget, that's a whole lot of limestone and a great big step back. So the building's style is officially noted as Art Deco with strong Roman influence. This is the Great Lakes building on the right, done in 1912. This is an example of the Chicago style. The Chicago style of architecture is the result of all of the building and safety codes that immediately followed the Great Chicago Fire in our effort to avoid having a second one. Chicago style buildings always feature fireproof exteriors like brick or terracotta. They're always done through a series of duplicate floors for easy means of egress, and they always feature these big 3-paneled windows called a Chicago window. Now the panels creates a natural vacuum action, so exterior air is funneled in, interior air flushed out. In 2002, and then ahead of us, you'll see a building with silver windows and rivet detail between those windows. This is 225 West Wacker Drive, done in 1989. Be 2 words pop into the front of your brain right now. Those words are Art Deco. We've got our limestone exterior and our great big setback waiting for us. Our next building is a little bit on the newer side, done in 2016 with that blue-green glass. This is 111 West Wacker Drive. It is 630 feet of office space, 630 feet, excuse me, of residential space. Our next building is office though. Mirrored glass and otherwise white exterior. That's 77 West Wacker Drive, done in 1992. Now when we clear the bridge, careful, it's a little sunny. Go on board.
Second one or the
state university
55?
or a state college after 1965. Okay, a number of us. Question 2 for those adults. Does 55 West Wacker Drive remind you of your campus library or the biggest dorm at said college? It might be taking you back to some late night shenanigans across campus. And that's all to do with its style. That's an example of brutalism. Dark green, shiny gold, just forward of us. This is the former Carbide and Carbon Building. Nowadays, it's the Pendry Hotel. The building opened in 1929. It's Jewelers Building, done in 1926. 56 feet from end to end. And now it's time for my favorite building on our route. So join me on the right. Careful, it's sunny. But we're coming up on some white, wavy balconies that don't match. So again, forward on the right, white. So all 3 sides are the exact same measure. But when you're done with the Swiss Hotel, I'm sure you're already starting to notice that wiggly, wavy one right over. Yeah. Once you got that in your brain bubble, bring it on back down because it's going to get sunny again in just a second. The building gets wider or narrower by 5 ton. That big crane is actually hooked into the foundation. Trump Tower will come into view soon. Care of that. Again, if you've got questions, join me at the front. Otherwise, I'll be back on the mic once we're under the bridge and heading west once more. So go for it.
It's a video.
Oh.
Bro, look at these kids.
Discovery of King Tut's tomb. King Tut's tomb, discovered in late November of 1922, had a 1924 by Charles Biersman with Graham, Anderson, Probst, and White. The building on the right, don't worry, we will have it again as we clear the bridge. That is Tribune Tower.
Is this?
I think so. Santa Sofia. Look, that's also Turkey. Roof tile.
Wait, it's kind of that. Oh, actually, its real name is the Cloud Gate,
Really?
but just nicknamed like the Bean. That's what everybody calls it.
Looks like a big bean. Wait, where are we? I'm trying to see. Okay, no, that's not us.
Can we wave? I see us.
I don't see us. No, it's, oh, okay, now I see us. Yeah.
There we are. One more. Is that it? To the left? Is that enough? Sure, okay, stand up.
What the fuck?
They're doing the audio tour.
Yeah.
It's up to you if you want to do the audio. Joe's is just down there.
Oh, okay, this is the spot then.
The house was like sold as is, and there was a bidding war for that house. They were asking like $450 stuff. Okay. Certain restrictions on what you can do when you remodel. That's a sprinkler house.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it, but it is. Yeah, that one also.
Okay.
The wall is eventually taken down again. This building is divided into
Persian. Maybe Persian, maybe. But look, this is more Turkish than Persian.
Turkish. Yeah. Egyptian influence.
Egyptomania.
Yeah.
It's narrow, low, and dark. And for many people, the question a tour. Walk down the stairs. Go over to the office building. You're going to see it clearly as you walk by. We don't really show it. I don't know, it's hardly
Okay, so one of this children designed
The piano.
Oh.
Yes, it is. 1898, Frank Lloyd Wright's commuting. Wonderful
I'll get a picture of his limestone advertising platform.
Piece of land, that was, yeah, you remember, he had some sculptures in the house, and his idea is, by the way, the question was asked, any reason for this? Wright's idea was, you can see there's some damage inside. He's spending all of it.
Yeah. Which is very surprising for this community.
And now it's bigger.
And then when Maya was a baby, they tore it down and then they built this big one. But next.
Oh, sorry.
My friend Ella does. We'll walk around.
This is great.
Yeah, look at that.
I mean, that's crazy.
Amazing.
Run right in front of these soffits.
But when we tried to go years ago.
That's it.
That's your house?
Yeah, this building.
oh,
It's like the
beautiful.
founding chapter.
I wonder
of
if that's
Sigma Alpha
Charlie's.
Epsilon.
Ask Ella what Charlie's.
He's in a Jewish frat.
Yeah, this is not a Jewish frat.
I guess I'll try to turn around and park back there.
Like,
Yeah, with its leg.